Hey everyone, it's Eric and thanks for tuning in. I liked what I did last season during the fall where I made a wishlist video. In that video, I went through my temporary wish list and I differentiated between what's an impulse buy and things that I would actually wear going into the new season. So I'm going to be doing that today for the upcoming spring and summer. And personally, it's a really nice way to, in a couple of months, go back and see if I actually bought any of the things in this video and see if my taste or style has changed in any way. Anyway, it's going to be more of a rambly video, but let's get into it. First up is a staple for me for the spring and summer, and that's camp collar shirts. One brand that's always been my go-to is Portuguese Flannel. I have a couple from 2 years ago and they hold their shape really well despite multiple washes, and they also fade really evenly. In my opinion, Portuguese Flannel probably has the best price to quality ratio. They're not super expensive, but again, they hold up really, really well. I want to try some of their linen shirts this year, and they do a really good job of having bold patterns, but it's not overly loud, which is good for my more minimal aesthetic. Another brand that I want to check out is Kaptain Sunshine. I saw they had this brown and navy micro check shirt, has really nice 2 front pockets, and I've never actually felt a washable wool summer shirt in person, so I'm really curious to see how that goes. One more brand that I like for shirts is Auralee. Again, they always have really, really great texture, but they tend to go really long, and for a shorter guy like me, I don't always want to have to buy a shirt and then go to a tailor to get them hemmed, but I just want to see how they are in person. Next up on my temporary wish list is heavyweight t-shirts. Something I notice when I go out and wear a very lightweight and flowy t-shirt is that it tends to cling onto my body weirdly, especially when it's windy out. I want to have some t-shirts that are more substantial, denser, so it doesn't mold to my body that obviously. I do have a couple of those already, such as the 316 one that I'm wearing right now, but I want more versatile colors. In terms of brands, Lady White has these rugby tees that are really good. I have the long sleeve version, so I already know how it feels in hand and it softens up after a lot of washing, but I want to see how the short sleeve t-shirt fits on my shoulders and arms. Another brand that I've noticed is FrizmWORKS. I've seen them stocked at Namu and Canoe Club for a few years now, but one of their core items is their OG pigment dyed heavyweight tees. I want to see how those fit as well. Another type of t-shirt I'm curious about is ice cotton fabric t-shirts. From my understanding, ice cotton is a textile from this European company. They use ultra high twisted yarns to supposedly reduce the gap, the air pockets between the fabric, and they're very cool to the touch, and it sounds great for hotter weather. I know No Man Walks Alone carries a brand called Ice Castle that uses ice cotton, and once they do stock some of those, I want to try those on as well. Another top I always go for are the knit polos. They're in a very similar realm to the camp collar shirt, but in my opinion, they're a little more put together when you do put them on. One brand I really like is GRP. I have one of their bubble knit polos and it looks really interesting with their texture, and it just adds a nice pop of color as well, the turquoise blue one that I have. Another brand that I don't have a ton of experience with, but I do really want to try is Beams Plus. The only experience I ever had with them is with a Sperry pop-up they did in Manhattan last year, but I've never actually tried on any of their core collection. They always do these knit polos in, I believe, a cotton acrylic blend in these really interesting colors like honey yellow or forest green. I want to try some of those as well. A new style of knit polo I want to try this year though is the long sleeve knit polo. Kaptain Sunshine has one in this open placket with no buttons, and it's in a Supima cotton, and I've heard really good things about them in the past. There's 2 colors that I'm really interested in, one in this brown and another in this really interesting lilac purple. I do want to get one for myself and see how it is on me. My favorite part of spring summer is the light jackets. Surprisingly, NYC does have colder nights where I actually do need some of these. There's always a lot of jackets on my mind, so I'll try to quickly run through these. First up is the Herill Nep Denim Zip Blouson. Apparently this fabric is incredible, and I hope Cueva has some of them in stock soon so I can try it on. Another is the Kaptain Sunshine bicycle jacket in espresso brown, I believe. It has a really interesting cotton nylon twill fabric with a water repellent finish, I believe. And it also has the stand collar, similar to the shape of the Kamoli jacket that I've been wearing all the time I just bought, so I want to try that on as well. Two brands that I'm really interested in trying are Stein. They have a sulfur dyed vintage Oxford jacket that they brought back this season. There's one from the fall in a black that I had an opportunity to get, and I really regret not pulling the trigger. The cow leather collar is really interesting to me, and maybe I might buy one this season. Another brand is Niceness. I've known about it for a few years now, but they don't really have a lot of stockists in North America, but they have a jacket style called the Thornhill, which from my understanding is reminiscent of trucker style denim bloussons from the 1930s and 40s. It has really interesting details such as pleated fronts and also inverted front and interior breast pockets. I really want to try those, but I don't know if I want it in a denim or a cotton twill yet. And then one jacket style that I've always wanted to try is the M65. The thing that's always kind of made me not want it before is the fact that the olive green looks too military for everyday wear. But the Real McCoys and the Armory just did a collaboration where they made it M65. It doesn't have the epaulets, and it's in a really nice navy blue as well. I kind of want to go in person and try that on. And lastly, Auralee, my favorite brand as you might know, they have a tropical wool blouson in this textured gray. I've never touched or even tried on tropical wool, so I want to see how that looks like in person too. Onto the bottoms now. I've always had the stigma in the past where if it's really hot, I have to wear shorts. And I would just wear some baggies or my William Frederick garden shorts. Starting from last year though, I made the conscientious effort to wear long pants. One brand I've had my eye on for a very long time is Stoffa. They make these jeans, one in a fox fiber brown and another in this upcycled indigo denim fabric. I need to call up Stoffa though and see if they do those made to measure, because in general, it's pretty hard for me to find jeans that fit my body type. They have another pair of pants called, I don't remember the name, but it's in this cotton linen twill and it has pleats and the color is this midnight blue. It has that perfect wide fit, and I think I'm very tempted to schedule an appointment and get this made to measure because I think those will look so good once it gets hotter out. Lastly, I'm going to talk about some of the shoes I like. I might be a trend hopper, but low top sneakers have been something I've been interested in for a couple months now. New Balances have some interesting models. I like the 204L, those might be new. I also like the 740 and the 2010s. I want to go to the store in Soho and figure out my sizing for all three of those. Those all look really interesting to me. Another low top sneaker that I like is, I don't know if I'm like that, but the Lemaire Soft Runner. It is a sneaker, but it also looks very elegant and elevated. But it also comes with a $700 price tag. I don't know if I can justify spending that kind of money on sneakers yet. Another shoe I'm really liking right now is from Reproduction of Found. I learned about that brand from a couple of years ago from a Lady White collab they did, but they have a shoe model called the 1858. It's not super chunky, but it also has that rugged military aesthetic that I think would look really good for a lot of outfits that I'm planning on doing. And then lastly is leather shoes. I've never actually owned a pair of loafers, derbies, or Oxfords. And actually in general, I've never owned leather shoes other than boots. But the Paraboot Arpenteur Mirage in a black pebble leather look really good to me. The texture looks really great, and Paraboot just has really high quality stuff in general. So I have my eye on those as well. That was a completely off the cuff ramble, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know down in the comments on if there's anything on your wish list that you're really looking forward to buy this spring and summer. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel as it helps a lot. And thanks again, and have a wonderful day.